How many reminders do we need year in, year out in order to wake up and to take heed? So I want to stand a little bit over the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah Azza wa Jal tells us about those after they have been thrown into the hellfire, and they are begging for another chance. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? أَوَلَمْ نُعَمِّرْكُمْ مَا يَتَذَكَّرُ فِيهِ مَنْ تَذَكَّرُ وَجَاءَكُمُ النَّذِيرُ. It will be said to them, you had too many opportunities. You had many years to take heed, to make change, to wake up from your deep sleep. Ali ibn Abi Talib would say, الناس نيام فإذا ماتوا انتبهوا. The people are fast asleep. When they pass away, they are placed 8 feet down into the ground. That's when they begin to take heed. But it's a little too late now. حتى إذا جاء أحدهم الموت. When they are struck with death, the angel of death rips your soul out of your body. قال رب ارجعون. He begins to beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, take me back, give me another chance so I can pray, so I can do this, I can do that. Right? Ibn al-Jawzi rahmatullahi alayhi would say, لو قيل لأهل القبور تمنوا. If it was said to the people in the grave, make a wish, make a wish, what do you think their wish would be, my brothers and my sisters? لتمنوا يوما في رمضان. They would begin to wish for just one more day in the month of Ramadan. وَجَاءَكُمُ النَّذِيرُ. Right? It is then said, didn't the Nadhir come to you? If you translate literally what a Nadhir means, it means the warner. Those warnings, didn't it come to you? Abdullah ibn Abbas and other than him, they said this warning was the white hairs that began to appear on your face. The white hairs that began to appear on your face. Others mentioned Mautul Aqarib, the death of your relatives. The death of your relatives that began to pass away around us. We bury, we wash the deceased, we carry them on our shoulders. But then, my brothers and my sisters, we act like this reminder is for someone else. We live a life as if we are guaranteed to reach the month of Ramadan. And we're going to pray and we're going to fast. Over the years, my brothers and my sisters, I would write down some of the high profile incidents that would take place in and around the month of Ramadan. Many, many years ago, I was sitting in the gathering of our Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr in the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's masjid. And the Shaykh told us a story. The story was the following. He said he received a message where one of his African students was going to be performing all of these da'wah programs. This lecture here, that lecture there. And this is before the month of Ramadan. And it made the Shaykh very happy. We're in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. However, my brothers and my sisters, as he was hoping to acquire all of this reward in the month of Ramadan, he passed away. And this really, really struck me, my brothers and my sisters, because I had a schedule as well of all the programs I was going to be carrying out in the month of Ramadan and outside the month of Ramadan. It left me to tears, my brothers and my sisters. Right? We plan, we want, right? But how many a time does it actually turn out to be the way that we want it? Some of you guys have heard of Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. I think that's how you say his name. Right? June the 3rd, 2016. It was a couple of days before the month of Ramadan, my brothers and my sisters. He was the undisputed world champion, the boxer, right? Between 1974 and 1978. Also considered as the world's greatest ever boxer. He used to be referred to as the greatest. But the greatest boxer, my brothers and my sisters, wasn't in control of his fate. Just before the month of Ramadan, he passes away. Right? I'm sure some of us also remember our brother, Ali Banat, right? Who became known as the one who was gifted with cancer. A young man, multi-millionaire he was, passed away just before the month of Ramadan. Right? We have been affected by the corona. Everyone here either has been affected or knows someone that was affected. Last couple of Ramadans, my brothers and my sisters, we remember exactly how it was. Weren't these reminders for us to wake up from? You remember also, my brothers and my sisters, the Ukrainian war that was taking place where? In Africa, in the Middle East, round the corner from here, my brothers and my sisters, it's in Europe. How many of us, my brothers and my sisters, thought to themselves that maybe next year it could be us? But again, these reminders that we hear about year in, year out, how many of us actually take heed? Right? My beloved brothers and sisters, do you know what it means to reach the month of Ramadan? Just to be able to reach it. Talha ibn Ubaidillah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, right? He saw a dream. In this dream were two individuals who embraced al-Islam the exact same time. One of them, my brothers and my sisters, he was killed as a martyr. And we know the reward of being killed as a martyr on the battlefield. His wound in Yawm al-Qiyamah, لونه لون دم وريحه ريح مسك. It will show as blood on Yawm al-Qiyamah, and then it will have the scent, the smell of musk. And the ayat, the verses are many. The hadith that talk about the virtue of this, right? He died in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think it's maybe about time that I need to make a disclaimer, right? Jihad is part of our religion, just in case someone wants to take it out of context. And I'm not going to bite my tongue. However, there are what? Rules and regulations, right? And we're not with what ISIS does, just in case someone wants to take it out and make us look like as if we're recruiting. It's part of our religion, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. So this companion, he died as a martyr. And then there was another companion who lived for another year. Right? In the dream, Talha ibn Ubaidillah, as they were standing in front of the gates of Al-Jannah, one of the gatekeepers came out and took the one who lived an extra year. Not the martyr, but the one who lived an extra year. And this confused Talha ibn Ubaidillah. You'd expect the one who died in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal, he will be entered into Al-Jannah first. But that wasn't the case. Right? And then he came and took the martyr. Talha ibn Ubaidillah, hoping that he is next. It was told, your time hasn't arrived yet. He wakes up from his dream and then begins to tell everybody. And then he reaches the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam then says to them, why are you guys amazed? Why are you guys amazed? Right? أليس قد مكث هذا بعده سنة? Didn't he live for an extra year? قالوا بلى. They said yes. وأدرك رمضان فصامه, and he managed to reach Ramadan, and he fasted in the month of Ramadan. قالوا بلى. They said yes. وصلى كذا وكذا سجدة في السنة, and he prostrated all of these prostrations throughout the year. And then he said, صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه فما بينهما أبعد ما بين السماء والأرض. The difference between those two, يعني the martyr and the one who lived for an extra year, is between heavens and earth. For just being able to reach the next Ramadan, and he did all those acts of worship, my brothers and my sisters. What did Ibn al-Jawzi say? Tallah, he swore by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لو قيل لأهل القبور تمنوا لتمنوا يوما في رمضان. if it was said to the people of the grave, make a wish, they will wish for an extra day in the month of Ramadan. Many years ago, I reflected on this and I was trying to understand why the why, until I came across the statement of Ibrahim al-Nakha'i, who said, Sawmu yawmin min Ramadan, to fast one day in the month of Ramadan, afdalu min alfi yawm, it is better than 1,000 days outside the month of Ramadan. Wa tasbiha, just one tasbiha, subhanallah, it is better than 1,000 tasbihat outside the month of Ramadan, my beloved brothers and sisters.